Go. We are back at it. Welcome to Hill Talk Sports with TJ Hill and Scott Henderson. We got Lewis on the boards operating out of Maryland, USA. And we are different locations right now because, it's COVID season, so we got to do it like this. Scott, how are you doing? He's frozen. Or are you just playing around? Scott, are you there? Hello, Scott. I think Scott's frozen, guys. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and wait for Scott to get back on me. And he's gone. All right. This is what happens when you do live radio, I guess. Or live internet radio. So here we go. While waiting for Scott to get back to me, you can follow us on a bunch of different formats now because we're going to do our podcast live now. So this will be on Twitch. It'll be on Twitter. It'll be on Facebook. It'll be on Instagram. And it'll be on YouTube. So right now, we have a bunch of things we're going to discuss tonight. So we're going to talk about the college football season in Ohio State and how this was a disappointing season for Buckeye fans because we lost 2 games. I mean, anytime you lose 2 games in the Columbus, it's a bad time. So we're going to talk about Ohio State. We're going to talk a little bit about the game tonight, the national championship. I'm not a big fan of the game tonight. I'm not really interested in it. It's just a game we saw a couple weeks ago with Alabama and Georgia. And it's something that I think I'm tired of seeing. I mean, if you're good enough to get there, then that's fine. You go every year. But I think this is Alabama's 7th try in the last 13 years of trying to make it to the national championship and win the championship in the era of Nick Saban. So, Scott, hi.
Yo.
How are you?
I think I'm here now.
Funny thing is, you were frozen. I thought you were kidding at first. You were
just
like
I heard you say
there.
I'm frozen.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a New Day joke because I thought you were doing the New Day for our intro at first and then audibled out of it. You were like, oh
no. You were gone. You were like a statue, like I'm like, where do you go? So, recap real quick what you just missed here. I was telling our lovely audience that tonight we're going to discuss a little bit about Ohio State's season, national championship game, and then we're going to venture off into Antonio Brown and the drama that Tampa Bay and him went through. See, the thing about, we'll get to that later. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about the Browns and preview the playoffs. So that's on the board for tonight, people. You can join us in our little chat room here if you would like to on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook or any one of our social media outlets. Scott, thoughts on Ohio State this year? I said when you were frozen that it was a losing season for Columbus because of the 2 losses. Because anytime you have multiple losses or not in the championship game in Columbus, it's a bad move.
It's a losing season in Columbus. You're talking about a NCAA program that is used to winning the Big Ten or used to playing for a national championship. And to be quite honest, as a fan, winning the Big Ten doesn't matter anymore either. I could care less about winning the Big Ten and the Big Ten championship if that doesn't mean we're getting into the college football playoffs. We've been spoiled. You go back to 2001, and Ohio State, with the exception of 1 or 2 years, has been a perennial preseason favorite to be in the national title game. And late into the season, most years, is still in contention to be in the college football playoffs or the national title game. So when you have that, and you have, Urban Meyer's run here, and you had Ryan Day lost his first conference game this year to Michigan. Hadn't lost a game in conference before then. Lost his first regular season game this year.
Yeah.
Ohio State has been blessed. So, yeah, it's a losing season. You did not make the college football playoffs. You did not win the Big Ten championship. And you lost to that school up north.
Mm.
And you lost in a way that was worse than the score indicated. Because the most disheartening thing about that was Michigan wanted it more. And when that game got physical and when that game got tough and when Michigan punched Ohio State in the mouth, they weren't ready to win.
No,
They weren't ready to out-tough Michigan. If they couldn't go out and win that game pretty, they weren't going to go win that game.
They finished 11-2, 8-1. They tied Michigan for the conference wins, but Michigan got that win over them, so made them go to Big Ten championship. And the key wins for Ohio State was Penn State game because they were ranked 20th at the time, and the Michigan State game where they blew them out, and then next week came out and just laid a dud. So those are the key wins, and of course the key losses was U of M and Oregon. But the Oregon loss wasn't as bad, I don't think, because they lost by a touchdown?
Yeah, and you were in that game, and it was early in the season. You were still finding your way. They'd made some defensive adjustments later. That loss didn't hurt as much as the Michigan loss did. But at the same time, the whole season just kind of, you never really felt that Ohio State was clicking and that it was the dominant Ohio State team that you had come to see in the past. To me.
We got Tim McLemore listening over here. Tim, how you doing? Shout out to Tim. He's on the show before as one of our guests, and we'll have him here again. He wants to talk about boxing. Tim, we will talk about boxing in a future episode, and I will have you come on, and you can have the mic, my friend. You can talk about boxing all you want to. Glad to have you back as a guest. CJ Stroud. He is a redshirt freshman. I wasn't too high on him in the beginning of the season after the Oregon game. Then they arrested him, and then they came back out, and he just started going crazy. This kid finished, I think, 5th in the nation, 44 touchdowns, over 4,000 yards back next year. You're running back, Trayvion Henderson, true freshman. Now, this kid, last time he played football before playing Ohio State, played his junior year in high school and didn't play his senior year because of COVID. So he came straight from a junior to college and put up, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, was ranked 23rd in the country. Another weapon Ohio State has coming up next year is, was it Jackson Smith and Jigba? Am I saying his name right?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
There you go. Thank you for correcting me on the name there, buddy. 1,600
Dear
yards.
God, he's the best of them all.
9 touchdowns, 1,600 yards.
As good as Olave is, as good as Garrett Wilson is, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the future of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Him and CJ Stroud are going to be lighting up and terrorizing the Big Ten.
Tailback.
No, you can never look. I'm a guy who loves the run. Run the ball.
Okay, because I play line, so I like
keep running the ball. Keep running the ball.
I like running the ball.
When you have a receiver as talented as Jackson Smith and Jigba, and you have a quarterback who is as unworldly talented as CJ Stroud, then you're going to pass the ball.
But let me ask you a question. Who else do they have to complement him? Because you're going to need someone on the other side to complement him and be a decoy, because they're going to key in on him now.
You got Marvin Harrison's
Olave's gone, Wilson's gone. You're right. You
got Marvin Harrison's kid.
Okay. As long as we got somebody.
This may sound really crazy to say. For years, you thought of Ohio State as tailback university. Penn State is linebacker U. Ohio State is wide receiver university in recent years. Think about the guys coming out of here.
Yeah. They are. Because the game has changed so much.
Yep.
NFL is a passing league now.
Ohio State is producing 2 positions for the NFL, and you might not realize it, but cornerback. They're producing cornerbacks, and they're producing wide receivers at a very good rate. I want to talk about C.J. Stroud a little more.
Give it to me.
A lot of people were not thrilled with C.J. Stroud to start. This was a freshman quarterback who didn't have much experience playing. He might have had a couple handoffs, a couple garbage time plays the season before. He got better every single week.
Yes.
His ability to, he is incredibly accurate. Sometimes his throws sail, but that got better as the year went on. He makes some NFL throws back there as a freshman, and he will read it out, get to the right read, and put the ball where it needs to be. Now, I think a lot of Ohio State fans were upset and frustrated because we got used to J.T. Barrett. We got used to Braxton Miller. We got used to quarterbacks who could be a dual threat quarterback in that read option, pull the ball down, and make teams put them in a trap, make them pick which way they want to get beat. C.J. Stroud is not that quarterback. It's not his play style. But more importantly than that, Ryan Day isn't a read option based coach. He doesn't want to run that option. He wants to run a pro set type of option. He wants to run more of an NFL type of system, and he wants to utilize those weapons. And the run is going to be something secondary to him to a pass-based offense. And the quarterback running is not going to be a key part of Ryan Day's offense. I don't think it's what he wants to do. He has the personnel out there that he wants now to run this type of offense. And gone is Urban Meyer's playbook of 37 permutations of the read option, a wide receiver fly, and tight end levels. It's going to be a more dynamic playbook. And was I thrilled with this season from Ohio State? No. Ryan Day's got to go to work. He has no one on that defensive line that can get pressure, and that creates problems. Yes. And the linebacking core, for the most part, is still less than stellar. So he's got to find some focus on the defensive end in recruiting. But offensively, this team should come back and roll next year. Stroud should be a ton better. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Between January and July, there's only one coach better than Urban Meyer, and his name is Nick Saban. Yeah. On Saturday, on game day, Ryan Day is significantly better than Urban Meyer on game day.
You spoke about defense in Ohio State. Do you know what ranking Ohio State's defense had?
I'm going to guess it was pretty high.
Take one guess. 60.
I'm going to say it's in the where was it?
They were ranked 60 in the country.
60.
60. U of M, 14.
See, I'm bad here. I would have thought they were pretty high because where they played after the Oregon game, they made those changes. They changed the defensive play caller.
They blew a lot of leads
got a lot better in that half of the year.
But they had teams that they should have blown out that they were like within 2 touchdowns of, which I didn't like. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you blow them out. Do what Bama and Georgia do. You have to be that team. Now, traditionally, they're not used to being that team. But if you want to be in that Final Four at the end of the year, you got to do that.
Well, yeah, no.
Teams you should beat, teams you should destroy, you should destroy.
Ohio State.
A 2-touchdown win against.
I don't know about that. I think all Ohio State has to do every year is go 12-1 and win the Big Ten championship. And they're in.
But they can
eke by every one of those games, but they're almost never not going to be in at 12-1 winning the Big Ten championship. But defensively, what agitates me when I'm watching them play is you're Ohio State. In almost every single game you play during the year, you have these superior athletes. There may be a couple games a year where you are lining up against a team that has equal athletes to you. Maybe the Michigan game, the Oregon game, the Utah game, maybe Penn State. I don't even think so. Maybe there were 3 games this year where you were even on the talent. Why are you playing 10 yards off in soft coverage? Why are you playing soft zones? Why are you playing conservative? Go out there and punch them in the face on offense and defense.
Yes.
You can pass the ball around. You can win pretty and still be a power rushing and a power blocking team and a intimidating defense. You don't have to.
Oh, there he is. He froze again. And he was getting ready to go on one of his Scott rants, which I love, because Scott sometimes goes on a rant, and it's nuts. You guys are going to love it. Like, you'll even see a little sticker from him saying Scott rant. It's going to be awesome when it happens. So I am going to wait for Scott to come back to us. I don't know where he went, but staying back on Ohio State. Defense ranked 60th in the country. They went out this year, and they got a new coach. Guy from Oklahoma State. His name escapes me right now, but I know they were ranked number 5 in the country on defense. So hopefully the Buckeyes can do something different on defense next year and shore this defense up to match the powerful offense they have. and back in the game next year. You got Jimmy over here at U of M talking about going to the pros all of a sudden, so he wants out. If he does go to the pros, it's good for him though. I mean, you won the Big Ten, you beat Ohio State, you beat Ohio State, like beat them. You won the Big Ten championship, like I just said. You went to the semifinals of the national championship. You did everything you were supposed to do when you came over there to that school. So why not go on a high note? You did everything you set to accomplish, except win a national title, which you didn't come close to, but you got in the final four. Great. I like the way Jimmy was talking after the game when they did beat Ohio State. You talked like you have beat us multiple years. Jim, you're 1-5, my dude. You run about 3 or 4 more in a row, I'll give you your props. But you beat us with our freshman quarterback, our freshman running back. So it is what it is. Oh, yes, internet does suck. So we're trying to go through technical difficulties right now. Again, this is our first live podcast. So it's going to be a couple little glitches here and there, but we're going to fix it. All right. All right, cool. I'm going to keep talking because I have no idea what's going on right now. All right, so moving on, even though Scott's not here, moving on to Antonio Brown. A few weeks ago, Antonio Brown and Tampa Bay Buccaneers were playing against the New York Jets. I think they were trailing 24-10. Antonio Brown all of a sudden did something that's nobody's really ever seen in a pro football game before, where he ripped off his jersey, dude took his gloves off, and decided to throw all his stuff in the stands, waved to the crowd, walked on the field with no shirt on while the teams are on the field ready to execute a play, and walked out through the tunnel. Asked for a ride home from a state trooper. Nobody knew what was going on at the time. They chumped it up to him having a mental illness, and we could say that all day that it's mental illness or whatever the case may be, but I think he's batshit crazy to begin with. Period. Even before he got hit. Oh, here I go. Story broke later on that are we still live?
Yeah, we're live. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to
Okay.
get Scott back in there, but
This is our producer Lewis, guys. This is the man behind the scenes with the internet's acting up right now. But we keep talking about it.
yeah, keep it going. I'll try to get Scott back in.
All right, cool. So what happened was people try to act like this is a thing where he has CTE, whatever your case you want to call it. You can't diagnose that right now. You guys study the brain after the fact if somebody dies. So, but Antonio Brown's not a good person, in my opinion. He done a lot of stuff that's real shitty. You know, you sit there and you allegedly raped his trainer. Yeah. That's a whole nother realm that I don't want to really go into right now. But you put your hands on a female, regardless, you're wrong. I have moved on to Antonio Brown. You hear me, Scott?
I've been hearing you.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
was
Great.
finally able to get back in and speak.
So you're caught up on what I'm saying about Antonio Brown. He's just not a good person. Period. You can go on and on about how it's mental illness. I think he's just wrong to begin with, wrapped up and wrong. I mean, you had Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh that had to get rid of him. Then he went from there. He's supposed to go to Buffalo. Buffalo said at the last minute, nope, we're good. Where did he go? To Oakland? Was it Oakland?
Was it Oakland? Did he go to New England for a minute?
Went to New England for okay. You had two of the best coaches in the league, and they both let you go. That's saying a lot. I didn't even think about that just now. You had Tomlin and Belichick, two guys who have been known to take guys and kind of fix them. You had remember Moss used to be an asshole all the time, and then he got with New England and he was cool. Like
Yeah.
you had all these players that had all these bad raps get with Belichick, and they model citizens now. This dude gets cut again by New England. He's cut by Pittsburgh. He gets cut by. He went somewhere else after that. I forgot where it was at, but he went somewhere else after that. After he left New England, but they cut him too. I want to say he
I'm
was a
trying to
Raider for a
pull it
minute.
up right now, but my terrible internet
I
isn't
want to say he
letting
was
me.
a Raider for a minute. I'm not 100% sure, but look, man, dude did a lot of stuff. You you supposedly raped your trainer, but you settled. That's another story. You have domestic violence charges. You faked your COVID card, which is supposed to be jail time, but somehow you didn't get charged with that. How is that possible? I looked it up. It's 5 years in jail if you do that. He got caught. So he said that Tampa Bay knew about his ankle injury, and I read this earlier today that coach went up to him and said, "Hey, get back in the game, coach. I can't. My ankle hurts." So then supposedly Bruce Arians did like this. You're done. That's when he got pissed and threw his stuff off. That's supposedly what AB's story
Yeah,
is.
that's what I'm seeing on Yahoo too. Is that he was complaining about not being targeted enough, and
Why are
Bruce
you
Arians told him, "You're done. Get the bleep out of here."
why are you dressed if
After
your
he was
ankle
complaining
is messed
about
up?
not enough targets.
Okay, so one story is not enough targets. Next story is my ankle's messed up. I can't get in the game. So which story is true? We don't know.
Well, all right. So here's where I come out on this. I got a lot of thoughts on Antonio Brown. I think it's easy for you and I, TJ, to sit here and say Antonio Brown has to behave better, has to control himself and comport himself in a better way.
Yeah.
And in some respects, the answer is yes. No one in the history of the NFL has thrown a temper tantrum and thrown their shirts and their gloves and their gear into the stands and walked off the field in the third quarter.
No one's done that before.
No one has done that. But I think it's easy for us to say, you've got to do that. Because in the heat of the moment, especially in a competitive game like football, you can lose your mind. I don't want to go through all the stories in amateur sports where I have lost my mind and gone off on umpires and other teams and players and my own teammates. And trust me, it's happened a lot. And the nicest part about that is I'm playing beer league softball,
Yeah, he's drinking.
and there are no cameras there, or at least there
Ooh-wee.
wasn't in the early days. Now, sometime I still might end up on somebody's phone, but there weren't cameras when I had my worst moment. When Antonio Brown has his worst moments, there's cameras and national media and social media, and it is everywhere, and there's no escaping it. I also think that we have to consider the fact that you said you can't diagnose CTE while someone's alive. But the studies pretty much show that if you've played football at the high school, college level, or pro level, you have some level of CTE. Pretty much every brain they've ever tested at the college and pro level beyond they've found CTE on. I think the study I'm referencing did.
Oh, God. Seriously? Well, speaking of concussions and CTE, I believe I probably had a few of those playing at John Marshall back in the day because we really hit. We didn't care. We were going at it. We would hit each other in the helmet and everything like that. Shout out to Brian Coleman and Javon Sanders for chiming in for us. Appreciate you guys showing some love on our page. Please go to our YouTube and subscribe and like us and all that stuff and share the love, man. Hill Talk Sports. We're here for you. All right. So Scott will continue with his theory later on. Hey, Tim, talk to me, baby. What you got? Talk to me. Tim McElmore about to say something. I can see it. There it is. There he is. All right. So if y'all agree with me that AB is not a cool dude, period. I ain't talking about football right now. I'm talking about his character. If you agree his character is messed up to begin with, hit me in the chat room right now. Let me know what y'all thinking. I want to know what our audience is thinking about this right now. All right. So to continue about this whole drama-filled story with this guy, he did stuff back in college. Supposedly, back he was in college, he did some things. But I mean, at that point, not saying that it's okay to do it when you're young, but you're young, you really don't think when you're doing stuff. It's a different story. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Good to see you again. A longtime friend,
Save
Scott.
a few pennies on the internet and you get what you pay for.
Hey,
You
guess
just
what,
do.
though? We're going to work it out. It's going to be great. This is the first run of this. Hey, we haven't done, just a little background real quick before we get back into this. Me and Scott used to do live internet radio. We used to drive downtown to Cleveland in the snow pay to park, go upstairs to this really eerie ass building like something from The Shining, go in there and get yelled at by Jason Snyder all the time because he used to get mad about stuff we didn't agree with, and do this radio show. And I think it was 2 hours. I believe it was 2 hour show, something like that. But we did this show for about
So
5,
we
6
picked
years.
up another hour and did 3.
Oh, we did 3 hours, didn't we? Damn.
We did for like the last 2 years. We did 3.
Yeah. And then
I
we
have
just-
a total package of issues.
Oh my God, that was awesome. We left there and decided to start doing podcasts. So we did podcasts for a while and hooked up with Lewis, and Lewis is the brains behind this. Thank you, Lewis, for doing this. Advanced Phase, shout out to Advanced Phase. Hey, we're gonna try to make it happen for you guys. We love talking about sports. We love talking about different issues. We're gonna keep it on sports most of the time, but sometimes we may rant into something else. We'll have to see. But for right now, we're gonna keep it on sports. Look at Scott just staring into space like that. That's awesome. Oh, there you go. I thought you were frozen.
No, you see what I'm doing is I was watching you, and it just looks like I'm just gone.
Yeah, it does.
But
all right, so continue what you're saying about AB, man. Get your point out.
basically, it's almost a guarantee that he has some form of CTE. And you just don't know how that plays into what he did. Here's the other thing. Mental illness is very much misunderstood in this country. I don't know if AB has mental illness or a mental illness, an anxiety disorder, something. But there's more going on to this than we know. There's a man who is playing in the NFL on Sundays and couldn't keep it together because he wasn't getting targeted enough, or the coach told him to get back in with a hurt ankle and threw a temper tantrum on the side of the field. There's something going on here that we don't know, and I'm going to reserve judgment as saying he's done. He can never play in the NFL again. Who would want to play with him again? Because we're all more than our worst moments. And the difference is that every single one of us who's had our worst moment, we're lucky enough that it wasn't on TV. I think that this is something where psychologically as a society, we expect famous people to be better than us, and we forget that they're not. They're human beings like us. They're no better than us. They have no better decision-making ability. They have no more control of their emotions than we do. They have a constant magnifying glass on them. And every once in a while, you get things like this. I'll leave it at this. Remember Ricky Williams? Yes. Ricky Williams would do his interview with his helmet on, and people were making fun of him and couldn't figure it out. Social anxiety disorder. And the NFL forced him every single week to go do an interview that was traumatic to him. Marshawn Lynch gave some of the weirdest interviews ever, right? The NFL doesn't care. You have social anxiety disorder. You don't want to get up in front of the media and talk. You have stage fright. They don't care. Get out there and talk to the media.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. We don't think about that. These people are in a petri dish. Everything they ever do. So I'll say this. It's probably more incredible to me that nothing like this has happened in the NFL before, when you consider the way that the game is and the emotions that run, because all you got to do is go out to a beer league softball venue or a 8-on-8 or 6v6 flag football venue, and you will see people completely lose their minds over stuff that means nothing, let alone $1 million paychecks in people's careers. I'm telling you, you think I'm lying, but you will watch fights, you will watch brawls, you will watch people threaten to kill each other over 5-on-5 flag football.
Dude,
you think it wouldn't be. You think
Tiger
it wouldn't, but it absolutely
Tiger got his
will.
whole nose split. He still got a hole in his nose from getting kicked in a game because he made a block and blocked 2 guys. So yeah, I get it.
I watched a guy jaw with the kid all game in 8v8. And there was a turnover, and he saw the kid trying to run the play down, and was a big guy, and just took a blindside block and knocked him out cold on the field. And then was happy about it and ran off the field yelling and screaming in 8v8 flag football for nothing. So what I'm saying is, if it happens at that level,
hasn't happened before in one of my games. But
if it happens, why do we expect that professionals are any different than us? Why do we expect this? Because they're famous?
But yes, actually yes, because they're supposed to be held to a higher regard and role models, or even though they're not, and some of them don't want to be role models, and they are role models because people confuse people's jobs with who they really are. People confuse actors as good people when they're really assholes because they act in a good movie. Um, I mean, it's a list of things you can do. Like, The Rock's a great guy, right? We don't know that for sure. We see him in movies and he smiles all the time with those pearly white teeth. We don't know he's a good guy or not. We
The
don't
Rock's
know.
a great actor. I don't care who he thinks the next
Okay,
president should be.
exactly. But is he a good guy? We don't know that.
But
Only
people
people that
do.
really know him know that. You know what I'm saying? Vincent Mann could be the nicest guy in the world, but we don't know that
Well,
for
we know
sure.
he's not.
Well, I'm just saying, do we know that? Or are we
But
just acting?
uh,
I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, you got all these football players, basketball players, and everything, and we 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 love them because what they do in the field, but we don't know them. So
yeah,
when somebody does something like this, we're like, "Well, oh my God, why is he doing that? He's one of my favorite players. He's playing a sport. That's his job. His job does not dictate who he is as a person.
nope.
It's the
And this is
difference."
my philosophy. And it gets me. I don't think people like this philosophy, but this is my philosophy. I don't want to hold anyone to a higher standard than I would hold myself to. So if I don't want to be judged by my worst moment on a sports field, by my worst moment in life, by my worst day, then I don't want to judge anyone else by that day. And if I know that I myself had to have known better in a situation and keep making the same mistakes at 41 years old, then I don't want to sit there like a hypocrite and say, you can't do that. You can't flip out like you acted like a child, Antonio Brown. Yeah, he did. He
He
did.
did. He did.
But does that mean he should never play football again?
No, he's going to play football again because he's an amazing talent. Somebody can pick him up.
Yeah, it's like people say Josh Gordon. How many chances are we going to give Josh Gordon to play in the league
He's back
before he's done?
in the playoffs
Yeah, and
with his
you know
yellow
what?
shoes.
We give people in life extra chances
Yes.
over and over and over again.
Yes,
Why
we
don't
do.
we? I don't know why. I've said this for years. I don't know why we hold athletes and actors and famous people in our minds to be better than us. It's like we're
Because
buying into the
you just
old
said it.
nobility thing where we say that, it's almost like validating the old blue blood stuff and the nobility. And if you were from a royal family, you were better. You had better breeding. You were supposed to behave better. More was expected of you. Our new royalty is actors and athletes, and we expect more from them.
Oh, that was a Scott rant, and he froze. That sucks. He can't just come in hot like that. He got to build it back up. He was about to go. Guys, I'm telling you, the Scott rants are great. You're gonna love them because sometimes he just goes off, and it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, damn it, that sucks. I wish you guys saw the Scott rant. But tune in going forward, and you'll get your Scott rants, I promise, because he's gonna rant again. But I can always tell when he's about to go. I just sit back and let it happen because it's a beautiful thing. So next time, hopefully, he comes back with the Scott rant. Okay, Brian Coleman says, "Who wants to deal with his attitude? I think he has limit. He limits himself." Um, I wouldn't disagree with that, Brian, because at the same time, like Scott was saying, hold these guys to a higher accord. If I go to my job and I go off on a staff member, coworker, whatever it may be, I hurt myself, so I can't do that. So again, it's not that we have these moments in life where we do stuff that we regret later on. Like I don't think he regrets it because I think he's just nuts. But anyways, that's my opinion. But as Scott was saying, he went on the field, he did this, did that, whatever, and don't hold me, don't judge me by my worst moments. Okay, but if I have a worst moment in my job, and probably at your job too, if you go off, you're probably getting fired. Now he got fired from his current job, Tampa Bay, but he's going to play football again. So can you say that, Brian, at your job? Can you say that, Scott, at your job? Can you say that if you have a Antonio Bryant moment at work that you can still work in the same field or at the same place, or somebody gonna hire you after hearing what you did or seeing what you did nowadays? Because somebody's gonna record it on video, and then you out here they're showing you your job, ranting, throwing stuff. So are you entitled to get another job? Probably not. So there's the issue with that. Okay, that could work too. Um, so Brian, I do agree with you, but somebody's gonna pick this guy up because of what he can do in the field. Now it may not be it might be a team that's on the cuffs of getting to championship because he's still a threat. So we'll see what the future lies for Mr. AB over here. I personally, I could care less when he kicked that punter in the face. When he was returning that punt, I was done with him then. He did this is Sparta to one of our punters. I forgot the guy's name, but that was devastating what he did to that kid. All right, so hey, oh, Chucky's back. Hey, Chucky, what's up, man? I see you got Chucky there. You brought him in.
Listen, Jack, I can't do it. I can't do it, Chucky.
No, you can't.
This
You
is
can't
the
do Chucky.
attitude I'm in right now. I'm pissed off and angry. I was gearing up. Where did I freeze out when I said
That-
it's
the
about
rant
LeBron
was
James?
starting. The rant was starting to build, and then you froze. And I'm like, I'm telling the audience, you gotta catch one of these rants because it's beautiful, beautiful thing to watch.
This is not the way it was supposed to go, T.
Hey, you know what? I'm not mad. I expected some kinks to happen. Jesus, I expected a few kinks to happen, but at the same time, it's gonna get better from here. You know what I mean? Could be worse.
This should not be happening. I've
Could be a lot
fixed
worse.
this internet before. If a squirrel ate my internet line again, I'm gonna be pissed.
What?
Yeah. So I had a problem with the internet provider a month and a half ago. And I said, well, I'm not getting consistent internet. Are you sure it's not something with the line? Are you sure it's not something? No. It's your modem's outdated. Okay, well, can you push me the new software? No. Your modem provider needs to do that. Call modem provider. No, your ISP needs to do that. Went out and bought a new modem. Same problem. Ultimately, found out that the squirrels that are eating into my house and running around in the attic ate the internet line.
That's crazy. But you got a dog for that? Did you freeze again? Oh God. Javon, thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate the shout out. Oh my God. Scott. Let's get rid of the squirrels, man. Like anybody out there know how to get rid of some squirrels for Scott? You can leave us a little message in the box here. We can help Scott with his squirrel problem. Little squirrely critters eating the internet. That's horrible. My God. That's what you get for living in the woods, Scott. Sorry. Got a lot of trees where you live at. A lot of mosquitoes and stuff. Like, summertime at your house is not fun, dude. Not at all. All right. So, going to talk about the Browns a little bit. Well, we didn't talk about the national championship game. Oh, well. Who cares? It's SEC. We Big Ten. We don't care about them. Anyways, Bama going to win anyways. Anybody think Bama going to win, hit me up right now on the chat line right now. Let me know who your winner is for tonight. We ain't going to get into the game right now. We'll talk about that recap of that next week on next week's show, who won the game and how it went. But give me your thoughts on the game right now. Give me your winner right now in the chat box. All right. So, moving on. Cleveland Browns. So, we did a show earlier in the year, and we were talking about how the Browns are going to go to playoffs. The Browns are going to do this, that. Baker Mayfield is the real deal. Oh, all this extra stuff. Bama. There you go, Brian. Shout out to Elizabeth. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you. So the Browns are going to do all this stuff and win. And oh man, we were high on the Browns. The problem with Cleveland sports is we get so hyped up when we get a decent team. And I say decent because looking at other teams right now, we don't have the receivers Dallas has. We don't have the quarterback that Buffalo has. So therefore, I say we got it on paper. We are a good team, not great. We overhyped ourselves again. The last time we overhyped ourselves when Freddie Kitchens was the coach, all hyped up. If you ain't wearing orange or brown, you don't matter. Well, Freddie, where you at right now? All right. So, hyped themselves up, get all excited about the Cleveland Browns. We go out here, Kansas City, put up a good show. Should have won that game against Kansas City. Definitely should have won that game. Come back week 2, Baker hurts his shoulder. Then things started getting worse. I have a torn labor in my shoulder. I got some other things in there too. No one is questioning Baker Mayfield's grit. No one's questioning his heart. I question what was between his ears. Baker still acts like a frat boy in college sometimes with the things he does. You have a highly respected media person in Cleveland, and you took a shot at him. They made a comment about something maybe going on to the Browns camp, and you didn't like it, and so you clapped back. You shouldn't have clapped back. Let it go. Your head coach was smart. They asked him the question: "Is there beef?" No, me and Baker good. Even if they're not good, you don't put that out there for everybody. You keep that in house. You threw the coach under the bus a few weeks ago, saying we weren't consistent. We got we took it easy. You can't do that as a franchise quarterback, Baker. That's something you don't know yet. But the fact is, you're too old not to know that. That's some of the mistakes a 21, 22-year-old kid out of college makes, not somebody that's 24, 25. You're making the mistakes you should have made 3 or 4 years ago. Just my opinion, though. You know, I met Baker Mayfield. No security one night. Bumped into him, came to the bar. I confronted him because I ain't like we did Ohio State with the flag plant. So I told him I'm Ohio State fan. He was a little intimidated, I guess. We talked for a little bit. Jesus Christ, Scott. We talked for a little bit, and whoa, Lewis! Wow, that's how you feel. That's how you feel, Lewis. That's how Lewis feel about that. Come on,
What
Lewis.
did you do?
Yeah, look at the chat room, bro. Oh my God, that's how you feel, Lewis. That's funny.
I can't do the mask.
That's funny. That's funny. Scott had nothing there for her. We can't repeat online though. We can't talk about that on the show. We can't do that. We'll get fired from our jobs. Anyways, we'll tell you that. We'll tell you that.
Fantastic, really good reporter. Fantastic.
We'll tell you that off the air, Lewis, about what happened with that. So I'm talking about the Browns are overhyped this year, and how Baker Mayfield is still an immature fat boy. Because no matter what she wrote in her article, him to come out publicly and dog her like that is a bad look for a quote unquote franchise quarterback. Keep your mouth shut. Get your shoulder fixed. Get your ankle fixed. Get your hip fixed. Get your whatever else is broken fixed. Come out next year, and don't put the same numbers you up this year. Does he lead NFL interceptions? Like 58 since 2018? Some ridiculous. He leads.
He
NFL.
does lead the NFL in interceptions since 2019, 2018. Yeah, it's bad.
I've listened to the tailgate show. They were down there on West 6. And they were asking the live crowd that was going to the game. It was all pro or hell no. They do that little thing on the show. All pro or hell no. Is it time to move on from Baker Mayfield? And the majority of the crowd was like, yes, you got to go. They have turned on this quarterback in this town for the most part. I think it's more Baker haters than Baker bros right now. What do you think?
Hey, T, who's the last Browns quarterback to have back-to-back winning seasons?
Honestly, I don't know. It ain't Bernie.
Bernie Kosar.
That far?
Who's the last Browns head coach to have back-to-back winning seasons?
Marty Schottenheimer.
It is. It's that bad. It goes back to 87 and 88 and 88 and 89.
I mean, I remember Ernest Barner fumble and I started crying.
So where I'm going with this is, doesn't surprise me that the fans want to run Baker Mayfield out of town. It's stupid. For the first time since I can't even remember them all. Deshaun Kaiser, Colt McCoy, Charlie Fry. I mean, Derek Anderson was the best of the bunch.
Derek Anderson.
Baker Mayfield got here. In Baker Mayfield's first year here, what did the Browns do? Go 8-8, 7-9?
Something like that. 500 around there.
They had that great run in the second, 7-9. Great run under God, I can't remember his name now. Greg.
Greg. Yeah, I like Greg.
Yep.
I like Greg.
But then the next year, he had Freddie Kitchens, and it went a disaster.
Yeah, it did.
Baker comes back there after that, and what did they do? They went, what did they do? 11-5 and made the playoffs?
Yes, sir.
Won a playoff game in his third year. First year fully healthy under a competent coach, even though at times I think Stefanski needs to learn and grow.
I think
comes back out this
another year.
Yeah. Baker comes back out this year. He's been injured since week 3. He's had a litany of injuries that might put the Terminator down. Plays through the whole season. At one point, Joe Bitonio started as your left tackle. Your left guard started for the first time ever 9 seasons in at left tackle. You haven't had your starting right tackle and left tackle play together more than like 10 snaps since week 3. Traded Odell Beckham Jr. Jarvis Landry is a shell of his former self. And we're running 3 tight end sets most of the time. And, we had a Ferrari in Odell Beckham Jr., and we're trying to scheme passes open to a Toyota Prius that is Harrison Bryant. And we want to sit here and blame Baker Mayfield? Look, I'm not blaming anybody for this. I'm not blaming Stefanski for this. I'm not blaming Baker for this. But I will say this. If Kevin Stefanski hands the ball off and said he goes pass, pass, pass against the Packers, Browns might have come back and beat Pittsburgh and be looking at a playoff spot here. Okay?
Question
Kevin
for you.
Stefanski had a lot. If you don't have to start Nick Mullins off the practice squad, if you could have started Case Keenum against the Raiders.
Okay.
Add that game. Kevin Stefanski runs the ball once. You don't get a terrible non-call in a game. And maybe we're talking about a totally different thing.
3 tight end set, right?
Yeah.
But we go 5 wide all the time. Why?
Right.
You
What
have
sense does this make?
you
They're
have
loving
probably
it
one
when
of
you
the
do
best
this.
running backs. One of the best running back tandem in the league. Now, granted, Hunt was hurt. But you got Chubb, bro.
Well,
And you don't run him.
Why do you think they're in 8 men in the box sets against you? 9 men in the box?
Because they
They do know you're going to run the ball. They do know you're going to run the ball. But you know what? They also know that even if you go 5 wide, 3 of them are going to be wide receiver tight ends, and their linebackers can man up on them and cover them for the most part. And you know what? If David Njoku gets you once, that's fine. We'll give you the first down and 20 yards because he's not going to get me again. It's not a sustainable thing. Look, there are a lot of things going on with the Browns. Does Baker Mayfield have flaws? Absolutely. Is he making the right read most of the time? No. Is he locking on to wide receivers? Yes. Is he the best quarterback we've had here aside from Vinny Testaverde since Bernie left town?
Yeah.
Hell yes. And it's not even close. So, look, you want Case Keenum? After yesterday, I know everyone wants Case Keenum. You think Colt McCoy had a bad arm, though. Wonder how long that's going to work when teams realize that you can't even threaten to go over the top because Case's arm isn't there.
Wait a minute. Who said they want Case Keenum?
Oh, there's a lot of people who think Case Keenum would.
Fans saying they want Case Keenum to start for Baker next year?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man,
oh,
stop.
yeah. Look, if you can get me Carr, I'll listen. I'd even potentially listen for Kirk Cousins.
This
I
is
don't know
what's
if there's
wrong
any
with
more
Cleveland
upside
sports
to Kirk
fans.
Cousins, but
This is what's wrong with Cleveland sports fans. Like,
the Browns
stop.
are the best they've been in 3 decades right now. They're in the best position they've been in 3 decades. Just
I've been
chill.
up and down on Baker all year. I've had moments where I'm like, you got to go. I've had moments where I'm like, okay, you showing me something. I'm going to say this.
I'd take Russ.
I met him out. Talk to him as a person. He is the same guy you see on TV as in person, as him. It's the same dude. He ain't faking nothing. The only thing I give him credit for, he ain't faking about nothing. He keep it real. This is my decompressed. Season's over. I'm not mad anymore. Had time to think about it. Had time to look at film, reflect on what happened. Exit interview with the Browns. You have to give him a year healthy. Then we go from there. If he puts up the same numbers he did this year when he was injured, next year when he's healthy, goodbye.
Yeah, or even if you still see him throwing double coverage go routes when he's got people wide open underneath for walk-in touchdowns too often. You want to see growth out of him. But if you don't have a Russell Wilson, if you don't have a Carr, if you don't have a Kirk Cousins to take his place, and you just want to roll the dice with Case Keenum or whoever you draft, that's silly. The Browns are in the best spot they've been in 3 decades right now, okay? Kevin Stefanski obviously can game plan you into the playoffs. Did he hurt his team this year more than he helped his team? Yeah. Absolutely. Baker Mayfield can get his team into the playoffs. Did he hurt his team more than he helped his team this year? Absolutely. There were a lot of things that went wrong for the Browns from the start. It did not get off in the right direction. It went 3-1, and then people got injured, and things went downhill fast. And you could almost say it started turning in that Chargers game when they lost that game that they should have won against the Chargers at the end. But they just couldn't This thing got sideways. I think they started pressing. Baker got hurt more and more each week. The injuries piled up. Ultimately, let's hit the reset button here for a second and just relax.
If you can, Chargers?
Yeah.
Timeout. Why did you call a timeout? Your timeout cost you a playoff berth and put Ben. I ain't gonna say that because I'll lose my job.
Well, one timeout. But yeah, there are a lot of problems this year. There really were. But let's hit the reset button. If you can sign Jadeveon Clowney, you have a great edge-setting, run-containing, run-stopping defensive end.
Myles Garrett getting that done.
Myles Garrett is one of the 2 or 3 best pass-rushing defensive ends in the game. You are set in your offensive line. I don't care if the tackles are good, bad, or average in the middle. If you can get a good one, all the better to you. JOK is the linebacker you've needed at outside linebacker, and you are stacked at defensive back.
JOK.
There's nothing wrong with that secondary.
Ended Lamar's season.
Yeah.
JOK. He ain't played since. Because the Browns game, he's not played.
JOK is why Jackson did not decimate the Browns this year like he did last year.
Absolutely.
You have a guy who can run laterally and stop plays before they start.
We're going to wrap this up in a few minutes, but I want to get your predictions for the first round of the playoffs. We used to do this all the time on the show. We used to pick games to see who won. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get your picks right now. So we got the first game. I'm going to put it in my computer, actually, so I keep record of this to make sure we got this right. All right, so Scott. We have Las Vegas, Mr. I was going to take a knee in, both of us in the playoffs, and you guys messed it up. We kicked the field goal and won. Against my main man, Mr. Ohio, Mr. Ohio State, Mr. LSU, Mr. Smoke a Cigar and Don't Give Up, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got?
I got Cincinnati. You can't cover Chase.
This will be Cincinnati's first playoff win in 1990? Something like that? Something crazy like that?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Let's go.
They're going to get it done this week. Joe Burrow's the real deal.
Man,
and aside from that, he's got the most dangerous weapon in the NFL at wide receiver right now to throw the ball to.
Yes,
it's like a Madden game. With like just a Madden boost wins jump balls.
So, second game is my second favorite quarterback playing. Because right now, Joe Burrow's my favorite quarterback in the league. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody says. My favorite guy. We got New England at Buffalo for round 3.
Buffalo.
I am agreeing with you there, sir.
New England has done a great job coming back and being a playoff team this year.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Losing Tom Brady. But the Buffalo Bills have righted the ship and they are going to win this game. The Buffalo Bills are the new kings of the AFC East.
Yes, I agree. Sunday, we have 3 games slated. We have Philly against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got this all day. There's no way.
There's no way Tom Brady's losing to Philly. Not happening.
I don't see
Tom
it.
Brady.
I don't see it either. Okay. This game should be interesting. San Fran at Dallas. Are we choking? Are we going to choke Dallas?
I think this is a coin flip game, but I think Dallas has too much talent to lose this game. I think Dallas will get by this.
I just got this feeling, and I can't shake it, that Dallas gonna mess us up. I hope not, because I want to see Zeke go far. Because my favorite player on the team is Zeke. Ohio State, I'm an Ohio State guy. I'm sorry, but so you got Dallas. So you got Dallas, right?
I got Dallas.
That's how we started the show back in the day. Remember that?
It sure is.
We
can end it like we did back in the day.
No, we cannot do that. We'll lose our jobs. Dudes, I'm just letting y'all know we did some rough stuff on the radio that we probably shouldn't have done.
Let's
FCC
not.
would have definitely fined us.
We don't need to. That stuff never needs to see the light of day.
Yeah, okay. I think they burnt the tapes in there. All right. So we got Pittsburgh and Kansas City. Guess I said Pittsburgh. I hate them. But I respect their coach and their
all day
owner.
Kansas City. I'll be honest with you. I think Kansas City's coming out of the AFC again.
I think Kansas City going to lose this game.
Really?
Yep.
Ah,
I think the defense for Pittsburgh gonna show up and ball out. I just got a feeling. Sorry, there's gonna be an upset somewhere. I think it's gonna be on Sunday.
Pittsburgh snuck their way in here because the Cleveland Browns absolutely
Once you sneak
imploded,
in,
self-destructed.
it don't matter when you
I
sneak
don't
in.
think
You're
this
in.
is the team that Jerome Bettis was on, that they snuck in as the sixth seed and were the first sixth seed to ever win a Super Bowl.
Yes,
I don't
Allen is the man.
Hmm?
Allen is the man, but I don't know. I want to see Burrows and Allen. I want to see Buffalo and Cincinnati so bad. Can you imagine that
I
game?
think it would be great to see. I think
it's a good
Cincinnati is going to need another year. Cincinnati's going to need another year to bake. Here's the thing. Much like the Browns last year, they're going to be fine in that first round game. You get to that second round game and you realize that you're a game away from the AFC Championship or a game away from the Super Bowl. At that moment, that's where being veterans, being there before, has you prepared for it, to understand what you need to do when things go wrong to get through. Cincinnati might be the most explosive team in the playoffs right now on the AFC side, but I look at the Bengals as I do the Browns a year ago, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they take a step backwards next year because they start believing their own press clippings and people have tape on them. I think the Bengals win a playoff game, but I think the experience is going to be on Kansas City's side. I don't think they're losing to Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers, and I if Buffalo doesn't get them,
I hope not.
Tennessee's, but I think Kansas City's getting out of there again.
I hope they don't beat them, but I just got a bad feeling it's going to upset that day. First time ever, Monday night playoff game. We have Arizona at the Rams. Ooh. That's a tough one, too. That's a tough one, too.
Yeah, it is.
That's a tough one.
I'm going to go with the upset here and go with the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona road.
I can't tell you why. I wasn't
got that
very
feeling.
impressed with Los Angeles the last time I watched them play. I'm going to go with the upset with Arizona on the road here.
Okay. I feel that. All right. That is our predictions. We will come back next week and see if Scott was wrong or right.
Yeah,
Real quick.
did I hear you make all your picks? Who'd you
Hold on.
take?
I got it because I do this thing with a bunch of other people, so I'm trying to do my picks. So, I'm going with Cincinnati for the win. Going with Buffalo for the win. I'm going with Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. I'm going with San Fran for the upset. I'm sorry. I'm going with Pittsburgh. And I'm going with the Rams. Odell Beckham gonna go off. Then you can get a middle finger to Baker Mayfield.
His dad can show all the times of him being open and getting hit with the pass. I'm just gonna throw this one out here before we go.
Yes.
Your Super Bowl champions, the Green Bay Packers, and Mr. Aaron Rodgers, who's playing at a level that even he has never played at in his career. And I think this is the year. This is Aaron's year to go power that team to a Super Bowl championship.
Hold off on that. Let's see how divisional rounds look, and then we can talk about that next
I'm
week.
just throwing it out there.
The predictions. See next week. Okay. All right. We're gonna wrap it up here. Hey guys, thanks for listening to our show. We appreciate it. We'll be back next week, every Monday night. Tampa Bay Breeze. I love that. Every Monday night, we're trying to come at you 8:30 to 9:30, give you a good hour of sports to listen to. Again, you can chime in anytime and chat with us. We're going to eventually have guests come on with us and talk different things. Tim, I got you on the box. We're going to talk about that real soon. Trying to get Jason Snyder and Bob Evans on here. Shout out to Jason Snyder and Bob Evans. Get your asses on the show. Stop playing. All right.
I never did radio with this guy anywhere else before. I will deny it forever. That was another Scott, and it's not me.
Different Scott, yeah. All right. For Scott Kennison, I'm TJ Hill, Lewis on the boards. Appreciate everything you do, man. And we are out.